Adventure Time has one of the most haunting endings in all of animation. We see a world once filled with life, now quiet, gray, and broken. The Candy Kingdom lies in ruins. The skies are heavy with smog, and Beemo, the little robot who once laughed with Finn and Jake, is the only one left to tell the story. But here's the real question that's been haunting fans for years. What happened to Ooo? How did a vibrant, magical world turn into a silent wasteland surrounded by metal giants and crumbling skyscrapers? We saw the aftermath, but never the fall. And after piecing together every clue from Come Along With Me, Obsidian, Fionna and Cake, and the Islands miniseries, we might finally know what destroyed the Land of Ooo. 1. The Last Days of Peace. It all begins with Come Along With Me. The Great War between Princess Bubblegum and her Uncle Gumbald pushed Ooo to the edge of collapse. Entire kingdoms prepared for battle, and then the impossible happened. Golb appeared. Golb wasn't just chaos, it was destruction itself. Reality warped. The treehouse was destroyed. Time itself almost unraveled, and for a terrifying moment, everything Finn and Jake fought for was seconds away from being erased. But somehow, they saved it. Betty fused with Golb to rescue Simon. Fern's remains sprouted into a new seed. Simon became human again. Gunther became the ice thing. And most importantly, the humans finally returned to Ooo. It should have been a happy ending. Peace restored. Friends reunited. Hope reborn. But every peaceful age in Ooo has one thing in common. It never lasts. 2. The cracks begin to show. At first, it looked like the perfect world. In Obsidian, we see Princess Bubblegum and Marceline living happily. The Candy Kingdom is thriving. No wars, no monsters. But notice something strange. PB isn't ruling like before. She's distant, distracted. She's building something. And we'll come back to that later. Then comes Fionna and Cake. 12 years after the finale, humans have built Upton, a floating city above Ooo. Simon works there. Finn's older, tattooed with Jake's image, a symbol of loss. And for the first time, we see humans and candy people coexisting peacefully. But peace doesn't mean safety. In Adventure Time, it never does. Because while everyone was rebuilding, something ancient, something inevitable, was growing in the shadows. 3. The human return. The seeds of Oo's downfall begin long before Finn's adventures, during the Mushroom War. When the bombs fell, humans didn't die out. They escaped. They fled to distant islands, where they rebuilt, evolved, and waited. By the time they returned, 1,000 years had passed. They came back not as survivors, but as conquerors, with flying cities, weapons, and ambition. Finn saw it as a miracle, the return of his people. Princess Bubblegum saw it as a warning. She knew the stories of the Mushroom War. She'd studied how human greed destroyed the world once before. And she also knew something else. Humans never stop expanding. PB's scientists even made a graph predicting population trends. By the year 4000, humanity on Ooo disappears entirely, either by extinction or evacuation. But the real horror isn't that they vanished, it's why. 4. The quiet invasion. For a time, humans and candy people lived together, but slowly, the tension built. Humans wanted more land, more technology, and for a species born from magic and sugar, that was a death sentence. The Candy Kingdom had no defense against industrial expansion. Trains, skyscrapers, and factories began rising where forests once stood. And PB, who had fought to unite the world once before, saw history repeating itself. She had 3 choices: fight back, flee, or find another way. And the option she chose was neither life nor death. 5. The Great Evacuation. This is where the prize ball guardians come in, those towering machines we see in the distant future. Their purpose, not war, not protection, they were lifeboats. PB had built them in secret, vast mobile shelters designed to hold her citizens in suspended animation. When the threat of human domination became impossible to stop, she activated them. In one night, the Candy Kingdom emptied. Trains froze mid-journey. Buildings stood silent, untouched, as if everyone simply disappeared. They weren't wiped out, they were hidden. The candy people slept inside those mechanical giants, waiting for a safer world that never came. 6. The Rise of the Pup Kingdom. But while the Candy Kingdom slept, something else rose to power. Jake's descendants. Over centuries, his hybrid children, part dog, part rainicorn, built their own empire, the Pup Kingdom. At first, it was peaceful, but generations later, everything changed. A new ruler emerged, Gibbon, the 7th pup. Born after Jake's original children, he had the power to extinguish others' abilities and a thirst for control. He stole one of the Ice Thing's jewels, granting him immortality. Then he began harvesting the powers of newborn pups, generation after generation. By the time Beth, pup number 38,000, was born, her kingdom had turned into a totalitarian nightmare. Gibbon ruled with an iron paw, obsessed with maintaining control over the last living remnants of Ooo. And yet, even under his rule, fragments of the past lingered. Crystal ships, magic weapons, and ruins of human skyscrapers. Artifacts of a world long gone. 7. The disappearance of humanity. So where did the humans go? They didn't die. Not exactly. Look closer at the future of Ooo. You'll see crashed spaceships scattered across the wasteland, rusted and abandoned. The skies are colorless, heavy with smog. Whatever happened, it wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow unraveling. Humans, with their advanced technology, likely tried to leave the planet. Maybe they built ships to colonize other worlds. Maybe they fled something they couldn't control. The Pup Kingdom, the chaos of Gibbon's rule, or even remnants of GOLB's magic. Either way, they vanished, leaving their towers and cities behind. Ooo became empty again, a cycle of creation, destruction, and silence. 8. The final clues. Everything in the timeline fits together. The Candy Kingdom wasn't destroyed. It was abandoned overnight. The skyscrapers came later, human expansion over the ruins. The Pup Kingdom rose after humanity's disappearance, using their tech and the Ice Thing's power to dominate what was left. Even PB's chart predicting the human extinction fits perfectly. They didn't go extinct, they just left, repeating the same mistake they made 1,000 years ago. And Princess Bubblegum, she never woke her people. Maybe she couldn't. Maybe she was taken by the Ice Thing, whose crown had been corrupted after losing one of its jewels. Maybe she's still trapped somewhere in that frozen prison we glimpse in the finale's intro. Pink hands reaching out from behind the bars. Whatever the truth, one thing's certain. History in Ooo always repeats itself. 9. A world waiting to wake. Thousands of years later, the cycle might finally be breaking. Beth and Cher live among the ruins, carrying the legacies of both Jake and Finn. They stumble upon Beemo, still wearing PB's tiara, a reminder of everything the world lost. Maybe the candy people are still asleep, deep inside those prize ball guardians. Maybe PB's machines are still waiting for a signal, a sign that Ooo is safe again. And maybe, just maybe, Beth and Cher are the ones destined to bring it all back. So what really destroyed Ooo? Was it human greed, Jake's descendants, or something even darker? A curse left behind by GOLB's chaos? We might never know the full truth, but one thing's for sure. Adventure Time didn't end with a happy ever after. It ended the way every great myth does, with silence, mystery, and the promise that one day someone will wake up and start the story all over again. What do you think happened to Ooo? Was Princess Bubblegum's evacuation a mercy or a mistake? Let us know your theory in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the strangest stories in animation, because sometimes the end of a story is just the beginning.